2, 1. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's LunchBoxPod. And guess what? We're on episode 2. Not only did we survive a solar eclipse, but also some weird genetic mutations. More on that later. But enough about me. I haven't even talked to you literally all week. The last time that we were genuinely in a call together was last episode. So I missed you. Missed you. How are you doing?
This is our life now.
This is our
Doing
life.
good, man. I had to use a drill today. Probably haven't touched a drill in about, I don't know, probably haven't had to do that in like 3 years of my life. It was a pretty weird experience. I felt like a dumbass holding it today while I was at work. My boss was like, hey,
Oh, this was at
put
work.
these 2 screws. Oh, dude, listen, my life has been crazy. I didn't, my life is crazy. I felt like I'm on a sitcom, but
Yeah.
I had, if you know me, those of you who know me, I'm not a truck boy. I've never been a truck boy. I don't drive trucks. I drive a little car. I want my knees on the dash. I want to know that if I get into a car accident, I'm not walking again. You know what I mean? That's the kind of car I like to drive. And I just prefer them small. And that's what, God, that sounded crazy. But I was
taken
at
out of
work
context.
and no one was there, like no service technicians. And I work for a lawn care company, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we need someone to go lay topsoil down and seed someone's lawn. You're the only person here that can do it." And I know that sounds epic. I know that sounds like I'm the chosen one, but it's not.
You're their last hope.
They pulled the biggest fucking truck around, and it's brand new, 17,000 miles. I mean, as new as I don't want to drive this. And it was, I looked it up. This was like a almost $75,000 truck. This thing was like insane. And they just dump a bunch of dirt in it, and they're like, now drive 45 minutes away.
No.
And I've not driven a truck in years. Let me tell you, when I say my butthole was clenching to the max, it was clenching to the max. But then, weirdly enough, on my ride home, I went through some sort of like transition. Like I left a boy, and I came back wearing Carhartts and boots. I was a man. I drove that truck. It was weird. They say that when you drive a big truck that your wee gets smaller. I disagree. I felt like I went through a major change, a metamorphosis, if you will. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. That's kind of what I've been up to.
Holy crap. I was not expecting that. That was I mean, you went through a like you said, a metamorphosis. You went into your truck cocoon and came out a beautiful butterfly of a man.
I went in wearing sneakers, came out wearing steel toes, man. I don't know what happened.
Well, I'm glad that you had that experience, because I drive a Civic. I like them small cars, you know? I know exactly how big my car is, and I know exactly where I can and cannot go. And that is not over curves, but in between every city street that I could think of. And I mean, when we moved, so me and I move all the time. Me and I moved from it was Blacksburg to Norfolk, and we rented a huge box truck. Norfolk.
Damn.
We rented a huge box truck, and I was gonna drive it, but then my dad was there already, and he was like, "Hey, I could drive this if you want. I kind of like driving big trucks," because he does drive a big truck. He drives like a full-size Toyota Tundra. Like that shit's huge. And I was like, you know what? You can do it. So I sat in the passenger seat, and guess what I did? I dug around in the seat until I found a disc, and it was Persona 5. And that's how I played for Persona 5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So it was really a win for me. You know, you went in and came out a man. I went in and came out a gamer.
A gamer. Dude, it was something. But I don't ever want to drive one. Like, it's not something that however, I did pull into the apartment complex that I live in, and I was showing Katrina, because I drove by here, and I was like, look at this massive thing that I'm in. And she was like, wow. And then as I left, she called me and was like, you're not going to believe what one of the neighbors said, because they don't know who I am. And I was like, oh no, what did they say? And she goes, they said, holy shit, he looks a little young to be driving that vehicle. He must have a good job. And I said, please don't tell him that that's not my truck. Now, they were going to be disappointed when I got home from work driving a Hyundai Kona, but It was cool. I wanted
In
to I
that
wanted to live
moment,
in the
yeah,
moment.
right.
Yeah. I was like, "You know what? I
Damn.
am balling. I do kinda got it like that."
Hell yeah, I do got a good job driving this $70,000 truck. Damn, yeah, that would make me so nervous too. Like, it doesn't even have its first scratch. Mm-mm.
Well, I broke it in. I probably have let some of the first farts loose in that seat.
Hell yeah, that's great. That's, I mean, it's been an eventful week. What can we say?
Tricks. So you
Mhm.
went on a little barefoot walk pre this. How was that? Did you decide to slip the shoes off or
Yeah, the barefoot walks do be crazy, and there is a bit of a cost. You always talk about the benefits, right? Touch the ground, feel the world around you now, as Mia says, but nobody ever talks about the price that your feet will pay on these barefoot walks. And as you know, I do not partake. I got too much of the ick to go walking around barefoot outside. I mean, it's just gonna stick to the bottom of my feet and just ruin my day. But Mia has been walking barefoot for like weeks now. She has, I'm not even kidding you, like 2 quarters size, like 2 quarters, like currency worth of blisters on the bottom of her heel. And
that's absurd.
it's crazy, dude. And
She's
they're
gonna have to
not
buy a
even,
bigger size shoe.
dude, it's insane. It's like, what your skin does when you like push it and it like kind of like whitens out like that. That's what
Yeah.
her it looks like somebody is just pressing 2 quarters into her foot at all times, and they're just pockets of like air or whatever is inside of blisters. It's nasty,
At
man.
what cost? At what
What
cost?
cost?
It reminds me of have you seen the TikTok of that guy that's like, "Day 72 of putting dog medicine on my hands to make them tougher." Have you seen that?
No.
There's this guy and he just puts dog medicine on his hands. It's like for dogs' feet to like strengthen their feet, but he just rubs it on his hands because he wants to be able to light matches off of his knuckles. And you can hear it when he rubs this liquid in. It's like you can hear the friction of his just big meaty
Oh,
paws rubbing together. That's what it reminds me of. That's what Mia's gonna start doing. She's gonna be like rubbing dog medicine on her feet. What are you doing? I'm becoming one with the land.
dude, I bet you could light a match off of Mia's feet right now, or at least that one foot. Just
I mean, segment idea?
yeah, Mia, wait. That's so funny.
That would be hilarious. I'll light the match from here. Like,
Yeah.
she has to put her foot right up to the barrier, and then I'll just have a match in her
Yeah. Man, we don't even have matchbooks in our house. You know what we do have? We have an electric, which I wish I would have thought of this earlier. We have an electric match. It's literally,
Just the one that you, like, push the little button up on and it
it looks like a miniature taser. Yeah. It like
yeah, yeah,
shoots
yeah, I
an
know what you're
arc
talking
between the,
about.
yeah. Yeah. I got that because you know how Amazon pulls that shit where it's like, hey, we'll get this to you at 5 p.m. today, but you got to order like $35 worth of shit. I was at like $20 and I was like,
You bought
15 bucks, 15 bucks is worth it. And I was like, what's some like stupid ass shit that I could just buy and get that instant gratification? And let me tell you, every time I light a candle, I want to blow it out again just so I could like zap, zap it back into life. It's
I
totally
love
worth it,
that.
but a total waste of money. Would not recommend.
Segment idea in the future. Truthfully, we gotta try to rub dog medicine on our feet until we can light matches off of them.
Yeah, that would be like one of our week-long ideas, the daily
Document
vlogs.
our experience.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Well, I'm glad we kind of got that all that out of the way. Lighting matches off our toes and driving four
Yeah.
wheel drive, baby.
Yep.
Shit. A little dessert is in the air.
Mm.
Oh my god, the hair swips. Cody, does your partner know that you're out here making people swoon?
Mia actually cut my hair to look like this. Did you know that?
She did it on purpose?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. She said it
Does
looked
she have
good.
experience cutting hair? Is
Are you
that the
telling me
first
that it
haircut she's
doesn't
ever
look good
given?
now? No, Mia cuts
No,
her
it
own hair all the
looks sick
time.
as fuck.
Oh, thanks. Because like, yeah, I don't know. She says that it's like dangerously close to mullet look, but I kind of I'm kind of there for
I
it.
I just imagine I'm like, no, I'm not a big fan. And then the next episode we do, I have the exact same haircut as you, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I've always had this
Yeah.
haircut.
It's just under the beanie right now. You could take that
It
beanie
truly,
off and it would
oh,
just fall down. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. Dude, for a second there, you had the Caillou look for a sec.
yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Well, we're gonna move past that, dude. My lights are always making me look so sweaty. For audio listeners, you wouldn't know that, but for anyone watching the video right now, my should be glistening.
Mm,
If I turn my head up like this, my forehead is just so crystal clear. It looks shiny, but I promise I'm not even moist.
damn.
I'm like
Well,
a
talk about a letdown.
cue ball. Oh, okay, so I want to switch something up in
Mhm.
terms of our plan for the episode today.
All
I
right.
keep moving around, so I keep shrinking in the chair like this, and then I just get bigger, and then I shrink again. But that has nothing to do with what I was about to say. What I was about
Okay.
to say was, so we had two segments that we wanted to talk about today. I had one at the beginning and one at the end. I
Okay.
feel as though we should flip flop these segments, so they're more interchangeable. One, because I kind of already talked about a part of this experience.
Mm.
Uh, so I guess if I could segue us into our next topic out of our little dessert time here,
Yeah, go for
um,
it.
I want to talk about the eclipse that just happened, and,
Mm.
and I guess I want to hear a little bit about what your eclipse day. I felt like it was the 4th of July because there were
Did.
so many people just out. I mean, wait, I actually have something for you here.
Okay.
Un memento.
Oh,
Okay, so
hell yeah.
hell yeah, dude, I can see everything. No, but the amount of people that were outside that were literally just like, "Oh shit. Oh shit, that's the sun, but a different color." It was crazy. So the day I drove that truck, not only
Mm.
was it me emerging from my metaphorical cocoon of
Right.
boyhood into manhood, it was the day that the eclipse happened.
Damn.
So it was like I think it meant something.
Yeah, no,
And
that's definitely a day of transformation.
I take these to work, these bad boys right here, these little goggles here. I take
Mhm.
them to work and I go, I'm gonna watch this goddamn eclipse today. I'm gonna walk outside on my lunch break and I'm gonna take my lunch, then I'm gonna look at it. Then they send me on this godforsaken mission in this truck. Then I realize I forget my eclipse glasses. I'm listening to the radio. They're going, Don't please do not look at the sun. You will burn giant craters into your retinas. And I was like, oh no, this is a nightmare. I'm out here driving in this big truck. I'm gonna accidentally look at the sun and blind myself and get wrecked. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know the science behind this. So I pull over at a grocery store and I run in and I'm already running late because I missed a couple turns because I was nervous about driving the truck and I added about 10 minutes to my commute. I run into the
Like a
I
real
run into
man.
the grocery store and the first employee I see, I go, ma'am, and not a little less dramatic than this. I go, I need your finest pair of Eclipse goggles. And imagine if I talk like that. And she goes, we're sold out. And then she takes her pair
No.
and she goes, these ones are mine. And I'm like, oh, you rubbed it in, bitch. So then,
Dang.
she probably wasn't a bitch. She's a nice lady, actually. But
Yeah.
I, I'm just in the heat of the moment. The eclipse was changing me. I was driving the truck. My vocabulary changed. I didn't. Anyways, I go to the job and then I see everyone looking at it. I have to go because there's an angry customer who like wanted a seating done on their lawn, and they go. They're just this old man is like in the middle of like a heated argument and just stops and goes, "Wow." Like, okay. That I literally don't wanna miss the experience. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm like I casually bring up in the middle of, like, me, like, trying to negotiate with this guy, I'm like, "Yeah, I left my pair back at the office." And this old man just takes his glasses off and goes, "Alright, take a quick look." And just hands me his
That's
glasses,
the fucking
and I
best.
I slip his glasses on, I take a look, meanwhile, my coworker, this guy named Carl, he just is staring straight into the eclipse with his bare eyes. And he's the reason I had to come out on this call because he was escalating the customer. And I go,
Oh
"Hey, Carl,
no.
don't look at the sky right now. Like you're not supposed to do that." And he's like, "No, I think I'll be all right." And then the old man goes, "All right, you go ahead and take a look." And Carl looks through the glasses and goes, "I can't see anything." And I'm like, "This guy just blinded himself." But luckily, he came into work today and was said he could see fine, so that was a plus. But it was, and to add on all of this eclipse nightmare, uh, the truck that I drove on the day of the eclipse, the guy's house was in a roundabout. Like that's where he parked. So I had to back out
Jeez.
into an active roundabout. It was
Oh
terrifying.
my god.
Um, but yeah, the eclipse shit was cool. My parents drove like an hour away and sent me a video of like the total they because Ohio was in like a area of like the absolute darkness.
Yeah.
Um, the temperature dropped. It was so weird, like 20 degrees or something in Ohio. It was like a ridiculous like temperature drop, but yeah, it was
Dang.
over pretty quick. I drove back, but I felt like it was like I don't know, a lot of shit happened to me that day, man.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd love to hear about your experience.
Yeah, that sounds wild. I'm also paranoid of looking at the eclipse and not realizing. Of course, we only had like 57% of like what you guys had. If you were in the area of totality or the whatever that's called, we did not have the totality. But the world outside looked like somebody turned the exposure down, and it was very strange. And all of the shadows were little like crescent moon shapes, which I guess
That
they
was
were.
crazy.
Yeah, I guess they were crescent sun shapes, but still, it was Mia and I took one of our famous barefoot walks during this time, and we saw everybody outside just like passing glasses around. We saw some old man very aggressively being like, "Do you have glasses?" And then he like marched over to us, and we're like, "Yeah, we got our glasses, sir." And he was like, "All right, let me see them." And so we handed them to him, and he was like, "Oh, they're about the same size." And then handed us our glasses back, and he was like, "All right, well, have a great day." And I was like, "We're like, if was he going to enjoy the sun through like our larger lenses if that were the case, or were he was he going to offer his and be like, nah, mine are better? Like,
Oh, I thought he was inspecting them for like to verify that they were safe for you or something. I didn't realize that
yeah,
you
like
were
if there's
potentially
like a
about to get robbed.
like a miniature little scratch on it, he's like, these are no good. And it was like, poof.
Well, your eyes are fucked.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but Florida was great to see it. And also, so I heard a tip from this, okay? So I know that some people are gonna say that what I'm about to say is not true. But I heard this from some guy on the street. He said, "Don't believe the lies. Look at the eclipse, no contacts, no glasses, no nothing, and you'll get superpowers." And I'm not one to turn down superpowers. So, I kind of snuck out after this barefoot walk and I looked, and I looked only for a second because I was like,
You
you
gave
know
it a
what?
quick peek. You couldn't help
Yeah,
yourself, bro.
right. Like 1% vision loss for the opportunity of superpowers. Sure. Went out there, peeped the sun a bit. It looked the same. Went back inside. I felt the same. But I realized that if I hold my breath, something weird happens. Are you ready? All right, watch closely.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
So now I just got to work on holding my breath, and I think that like there's something here. So
Oh god, dude. I don't know what I thought you were gonna do, but it wasn't that. That's impressive.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. It feels weird, but I think I like it.
I regret not looking at the sun. I didn't sneak a peek, frankly, I haven't pooped since the eclipse happened. So I'm wondering if it had the inverse effect. Maybe I should have looked.
Maybe that's your superpower now.
I
Maybe you
just
just
don't have
don't
to
poop.
shit. I just absorb all food.
Yeah,
Maybe I
you
did.
just
Maybe my glasses didn't have that little scratch on them. I looked
mm.
directly into the eclipse, and now I don't have to shit. That'd be kind of a sick power, though, to never have to poop again.
That's true. But like, how would that affect like your like caloric intake? Would you be able to survive on less food for longer?
Yeah, I'm absorbing everything, and also let's take into account the amount of time you take pooping every day. If you're a pooper every day, I'm probably going to learn a bunch of new skills. I might be able to play the guitar at the end of the month. I, I,
Damn.
I could learn anything. I might play the saxophone.
Holy shit, you might beat me to it. God damn. I'm gonna be sitting on the toilet this entire next week being like, fuck. This is so much time wasted.
Here I am shitting while Trey's out there just getting better.
It sounds like
um,
one of those like alpha male techniques where it's like like your lame ass spends time on the toilet, I shit in a diaper. While you're on the porcelain throne, I'm out on my real golden throne that I earned by not taking any time off to take a shit.
we are not the same. You know, it's so crazy that you say that. I actually wrote down a segment I was gonna talk about, and
Uh,
it was I watched a video of this one of the alpha male manosphere dudes, and he was like, "Well, basically, the rest of you fucking losers are out there living life on a 24-hour schedule like a caveman. Meanwhile, I live 3 days in one day, from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. I've had a full day. I go to sleep, I wake up, and then I have another day between like he has his day broken down into these like few hour gaps, and I'm
yeah.
like, bro, those are just called naps. The day is still the same. You're just taking hella naps. Like, but I like literally wrote that video down right before this, but I had to talk about it when you said that. 'Cause he's like, meanwhile, you're wasting all your time. I'm having multiple days. I'm like, if anything, I think you're less productive because you're sleeping 2 times in the middle of the day.
Yeah, right? Does he do like the entire bedtime routine, you think? Like he gets his jammies on and he goes and he brushes his
Yeah,
teeth.
he changed, and he's like actually losing money because he's changing outfits so many times in one day that it's
Yeah.
like he's just using hella water. He's like, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because while you're working, I'm taking out loans and going to the casino. If I go to the casino and lose enough, eventually I'll win. It's a different mindset. We are not the same.
Oh man.
I need to get out of the habit of giving every person that's not me or you a country accent. I realize that when I like reference anyone else in any story, that's the voice that they have, and I don't know why.
I don't know. I guess like it's in your repertoire. So when you need to just like differentiate, like, hey, this is not Trey anymore, you just dip into that good old country accent. You know, the
Give
accent
him a
that
little bit
Mia,
of that yee yee.
the yee yee, something that Mia and I have been trying to do is she recently started The Walking Dead, like started The Walking Dead, the show that came out like 11 years ago. Um, she of course loves Daryl Dixon, and she has been trying to talk like him. And the part that she keeps quoting is that like the very like in season 1 when Rick chains what's his name, Merle, up to the roof, and then he comes back and he tells Daryl, Daryl's reaction is, I need to take a moment to process this, and like wanders off into the woods. And so yeah, that's my life now. I'll like walk out into the kitchen and I'm like, hey Mia, how are you? Like, we're out of toast. And she's like, I need a moment to process this. And she then walks away.
Every time she holds her phone flashlight, she's got to hold it
Yeah.
like all hunkered over like this, all
Yeah.
weird.
Yep. It's funny that you said that because that's genuinely my life now.
She just
She comes around the
wait, you're
corner
actually
like
married to Daryl now?
I mean, honestly, yeah, whatever. Like if I can't be married to Mia, then like Daryl's a good number 2.
The Honda Civic's gone soon. You guys are driving a makeshift Harley.
Mhm.
I love that. We've stared into the sun. We've claimed whatever superpowers belong to us. And what are we left with? Scody, what are we left with? What are you left with? Let's talk real life superpowers, genetics, genetic abilities,
Mhm.
the X-Men. I'm just rambling. Do you have any weird genetic quirks, man? Do you have any crazy shit that you could do?
I mean, so the way that you phrased this in the snippet that I was reading before today's show, I was like, man, Trade's gonna have something really cool that he can show off. And like the answer is yes. Like I do have weird things that come from genetics, but both of them are things that like I can't just show off. So one of them, well, because of where they're at, all right.
Oh shit.
So we'll start with the first one is my feet, my toes in fact are like slightly webbed. Like they are stuck together at like a 33% to 50% mark
Wait,
depending on the toe.
what?
Yeah, specifically like my pointer toe and my middle toe, like those fuckers are connected pretty much all the way up to that knuckle. And apparently that's like a fairly common one as far as like genetic weirdness goes. But yeah.
I've never seen that. So, like, are you one of those people like, I can pick up stuff and hand it to myself with my feet, and I got, like,
Yeah.
monkey toes. You
Yeah.
don't have that, or
No,
you
I
feel
I
like you
have
still have that?
I do not have the monkey toes.
No
Mia had
mobility, no toe
Mia
mobility.
Mia has what she calls her small hands, which are her feet, and she's pretty pretty dexterous with those things. But yeah, mine are just basically like bricks at the end of my feet. But I do think it makes me a better swimmer. So Dylan, actually, my name comes from the Welsh, which is of the water. So perhaps in a past life, I was like some amphibian, like some frog or something. And it's not webbed like like the way that you would think it. It's not like a thin membrane between the toes because that would be really cool.
Just have
But
a club foot. It's like you're just hella good at kickball, like, your toes are never stubbed.
yeah, yeah, I was always picked first at like the backyard kickball team. Um, but no, it's like I have normal toes, but like it's like somebody forgot to draw the line in between them.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I am gonna have to see that at some point. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
need a
know, but I'm
Snapchat
not gonna like
to
whip
show
it
that.
out here on like the camera or anything. Maybe I will. Who knows? We'll see how
That's
crazy
fair.
tonight gets. But
Okay, so that's one that you can't show
yeah,
us.
yeah. Well, they're all the ones that I can't show you unless like it becomes a different kind of stream.
Well, what's the other one? It's like I have 2 buttholes.
That's pretty close. So I don't have a second butthole, but I have. So my tailbone like continues on. So like where your spine goes
Oh,
down.
wait. Don't tell me that you have a little tail.
It's not so much a tail as much as it looks like a I don't know, there's a bump there. And so like if it were any longer then like yeah, it would be a tail. But you want to know like the worst way? So I discovered this back in a past life where like
You were
exercising.
totally a frog, bro.
Dude, I
You
fucking was.
dude.
It was when I was a tadpole. It's like leftover. You went through a metamorphosis to become a butterfly, man. I went through a metamorphosis to become a frog.
Dude, what the Alright, sorry. No, that's beautiful. Every person's beautiful. How did you find this
Yeah.
out?
Yeah. So I found this out when exercising was mandatory for me, which I hate exercising, but unless it's like fun stuff like skating, biking, even running is fun. But Russian twists, do you know what those are? The things where you like crunch up into a little ball and you
Yeah.
like
And then
twist
you
side to
touch
side.
on side to side.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, just like that. Well, I had been doing lots of those and my ass hurt. And I was like, it does nobody else's ass hurt? Like, I can't be the only one. I was the only one. And not only did my ass hurt, I developed a blister on it in the middle. So like literally it was like cheeks, right? And then at the peak of the cheeks, fucking blister right in there. So when I walked, like my cheeks rubbing together was fucking painful. So
Dude, what the
so so I'm getting there, right? This was back in my college days, so of course I showed all my friends. They had no idea what was going on. And eventually I was on a phone call with my dad and I was like, dude, my ass hurts. And he was like, why? And I was like, because this. Like I have this
runs
weird
in the
like nub
family.
thing. And no shit, he was like, oh yeah, I have that too. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? So yeah, it does run in the family. Um I guess I come from a long line of happy frogs, but it is what it
Dude,
is. Those are
that
my
was
two
so
things.
much more than what I was expecting. Also, the way that you just casually when you said I went until exercise was mandatory, I thought you were gonna like the way you described that was like when you're in the locker room when you're in like middle school and like they make you like go to the locker room and then like the one person walks around naked and when you first go, wait, everyone's not circumcised? Or like you said that you said
Yeah.
that about finding out you had a tiny little tail nub in the same way that you find out everyone's dick's a little bit different. That was that was so crazy, and I was not expecting that. I'm gonna have to process that for a minute. But also, wow, I So you have ass cheeks. You don't. It's not just that you have no ass cheeks, so that it's just your tailbone. You feel as if your
Yeah.
tailbone is slightly more than the average.
Yeah,
Have you
no,
had a doctor
I
look at it, touch around on it?
I mean, I definitely have normal ass cheeks, I feel like. I mean, who knows? What is normal anyways? Like double cheeked up here on a Tuesday afternoon, but yeah, no, it's just like if you're it's like somebody drew a human from memory and like they forgot to do the toes and they forgot like where the spine stops. But like other than those two things, like they're perfect.
So do you feel like that one gives you an advantage in any way?
I've been trying to figure out a reason why that one would, because like sure, like the toes one, like I'm a better swimmer for it, I can claim. But yeah, having a weird like ass nubbin doesn't really help.
God,
I'm
mine are
really
way less
hoping that
cool than all that.
I'm really hoping that that your superpowers are cooler than mine at least.
Okay. Well, they're probably not, but I'll show you a couple of them. So I have a few to do with my fingers, and I know everyone can't do some of these things, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if the camera will pick them up. This is one, not that impressive, but not everyone can do this. I could turn my
Mm-hmm.
thumb at a 90-degree angle behind my hand, like this. Can you
Oh
see
crap.
this?
That was unassisted?
Can you do this? No,
No,
slightly
no,
assisted, but I still have pretty good
nah.
mobility.
That's as far as I
And
get.
then also this little finger doohickey where I can
Oh
bend
yeah,
just
I
the
can't do
tips of
that
my
one.
fingers on
That's pretty
these
cool.
first three. For some reason, my pinky doesn't do it, but what benefit that gives me, I don't know. Maybe I can grip stuff really good if I tried it. Um, that's not as cool as a ass nub or anything, but
Yeah, but at
it's
least you could show
something.
yours. Like I was happy to see it.
I can also this is not like a cool genetic quirk. I have one that's a
Uh-huh.
little bit cooler, but my nostrils flare in like the weirdest, strangest area. Yeah, get a close up of this. So most people, I feel like they flare their nose, and their nose
Yeah.
flares out. Can you flare your nose?
Um
Okay, yeah, I see a little bit of something
maybe.
happening here.
Yeah, that's as much as I can
All
do.
right, most people's flare out. Look at this shit. My mom used to die laughing when I did this as a kid. Ready?
Oh
Why
my
do they flare
god.
up
Dude, you look like like if you were on
like a
fucking
bat?
Mission Impossible, dude, you could just do that and like the rest of your face would transform and you just like become a different person. That's what I feel like is happening right now.
See how rapidly I could do it.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
But finally, which I have, I'm eating something right now. I'm about to
Okay.
show you. This is the last one.
All right. I'm ready.
You know, some people can do this little thing right here.
Yeah.
Not everyone can though. Can you do that?
Just like the
I'm gonna,
circle?
yeah, I'm gonna step it up. But okay, cool. Like yeah, like that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, get a good look at it.
All right. I'm so ready. Oh shit.
You like
God
that?
damn. God. God damn.
Pretty interesting, huh?
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely cannot do
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Just a little something something.
Man, you got all the fun ones. You got like fun stuff with like your hands and your tongue and your nose. I got my ass and my feet.
I feel like you haven't tried breakdancing enough. For some reason, I feel like the little nub you spin like a
Like a
top, like
top. Damn. I missed my calling. I should have been a b-boy. Man.
Dude, why why is he so good at it? No one can figure out your secret. You're just like your pants are always worn down on just that one spot, the one point of
Yeah.
contact.
Man, it's like those like really fast tops that you can balance on like your fingertip or something. I could just get going so fast. Like somebody could just be
Like a
like,
Beyblade, dude. Oh shit.
"That's awesome,
That would be
man."
good. Um, holy fuck, yeah, yours were much more interesting. Yours definitely are more like I feel like maybe you're actually moving on to the next evolution. I think humans might
Oh
be
man,
evolving. What the Earth is changing. We are literally some states are sinking underwater. You could be ahead of the game. Your children potentially will be the ones that live on. Meanwhile, my children are gonna be drowning like
Yeah, but they'll look cool as fuck.
They're just my kids are holding their little hands out like this, and your kids are just swimming
Yeah.
hella good.
Yeah. Next up, I'll be
Oh,
like,
good shit,
yeah,
dude.
look at these gill things now.
Next episode, yeah, your neck has like little slits in it. You're
Yeah.
wearing a turtleneck. We have no explanation.
Man.
Cat Trey, you can show me yours, Scody. Are you talking about his feet or his little tail? It just wags when you're happy.
It's just like rapidly waving back and forth, like those dogs with like the stubby tail.
Dude, that'd be hard to get over. I feel like if I like met some like if it had like that kind of mobility. Also, we missed the opportunity to say instead of mobility, toeability when we were talking
Oh
about, being able
shit.
to move your toes.
Yeah, you're right.
We've been setting on that. Katrina actually said
Yeah.
I thought that in my head, and then I heard her in the corner of the room go toeability, and I was just like waiting for the opportunity to bring it up again. But
Yeah.
I feel like if I was with somebody, like the love of my life, well, I guess let's say I'm dating somebody, I'm falling for that person, and then it finally gets to the moment to where there's like an intimate time in which I see where their tail would be, and it just starts wagging. I don't know how I could take that. So I'm glad yours doesn't wag, and if it did, and Mia still stuck around, I honestly think it's just a testament to your
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Yeah. It does not wag. Well, actually, you know what? Who knows? It might. It's just too small.
Like we're going on a barefoot walk, and you're like, oh, barefoot.
Oh. That's
Oh
so
shit,
funny.
like a dog going on a walk. Oh, sorry, you're not
Man,
a dog or a frog. You're a Scody, and I love that for you. You're
thanks.
human.
Yep.
You're human.
You are too. We all are.
Wow, thanks, man. But you know what's not?
Mm.
There's this new motherfucking AI, open AI robot. Now, I already asked you if you've seen this video, and you said that you haven't.
I have not.
And this, okay, so there's a link that I added to the doc. Open the link. We're gonna watch this together. We're gonna watch this with chat. I want to one know your views on it if you're impressed, and I guess I have a little bit of commentary to make regarding it, and uh, what I would be nervous about.
Yeah, I'm really
So
excited
let's.
about this. I love new technology and stuff, and I'm excited for what the future holds. If that's what you're gonna be showing me.
Oh, this is it. So what you can expect from this is a open AI. It speech. It has speech and reasoning. Okay, unlike the when you're typing to your phone and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
can you write me an essay for school? No, this one is different, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Okay. All right, we're going in. I can't hold my breath though. I was about to. I would have disappeared. That would have been unfortunate. All right, here we go.
Don't do that.
Okay. Powered by OpenAI.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Imagine if it goes, I see a stupid little bitch ass motherfucker and his shirt's unbuttoned too much. Like the AI is just like roasting
I
him.
see a piece of shit who spends too much time on the toilet while I'm trading crypto.
I have 3 days in your 24 hours, you nerd.
So I was genuinely actually impressed at the beginning with the voice itself.
What do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Like, I know that's not perfect, but that's pretty good as far as like intonation and tone. And it was a full, complete thought versus like, you know, the Googles and Siris of the world that are like, hi Trey, I found this for you. And then
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, like the more canned responses.
I think that was the creepiest part of it when I first watched it. Like that first intro, it wasn't even as impressive as the fact that it has a camera and it was able
Yeah.
to identify those items. It was like so human in its response, even. Yeah, I agree. Super weird, but also super impressive. And that's kind of why when I first heard it, I imagined it just roasting him because it was just so human that I felt like it was capable of doing that. It's like
Yeah.
I see a guy who needs to button up one more button on that shirt. This is a tech video.
I'm also I also see that they made him safely under the 6 foot range. So that way, you know, any of the short kings out there might feel intimidated.
Oh, I thought you meant the distance between the guy talking to the robot and the robot in case the robot like went rogue and just started fucking him up.
Yeah,
or
through like a
something.
nasty right hook. I see target. There's a little white dot turns red. All right, here we go.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the
It
table.
said,
Yeah, wait a second. It's programmed to throw in filler words now. That's so
and it's the only edible item. Like, I guess if it has a camera and it's like processing every item on the table and there's only a few, of course. But the way it's like, well, it's the only edible item. Once again, you fucking dumbass. What was I gonna give you the cup?
yeah. While you pick up this trash and it like immediately grabs his shirt off of his body. Yeah, I mean I'm
weird shit.
I'm less impressed with like I'm impressed by it, but I'm less impressed by like the mobility of the robot itself and like the hand movements and stuff as I am with like just the intonation. Like the only thing that was weird was like right at the beginning there was not enough of a pause between on it and then the next thought. But everything else seemed like weirdly natural, and then the question is like why? Why are we programming robots to act more human? Like what is the the purpose there?
It's spooky, dude. I don't
Yeah.
like.
They
he's
even
doing
gave
nothing
him little
threatening
metal
right now.
nipples.
Dude, that's too far.
My God. How'd they know
Can
I
we not
have
have
nipples?
anything?
Explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right. So, how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
You're welcome. If there's anything else you need help with,
Is that a little curtsy? Is that what's happening there?
I don't. When its hands, like it became less impressive. Its movement when its hands had to go back into a reset position, like when it went back to the like
Yeah.
me.
I I mean, I just don't like why. I don't know. I'm gonna start
It
sounding
doesn't
like
need to do this.
right. I'm gonna start sounding like a Spider-Man villain here in a second. But like, why are we making them more like humans when they're just robots?
They're gonna take our jobs. Damn it! They're getting too smart.
I mean, it's fine that they're more smart, but like, why put them in a like a humanoid form like that? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely to like be like, ooh, look at this new fancy robot that can put dishes into this thing and tell me
Yeah,
what an apple
I think
is.
it's more impressive. Like people can like relate to the robot when it looks like us,
Mm-hmm.
but I bet this is some big. We probably could have some crazy philosophical conversation about why it being human is important, but it's weird. It makes it uncanny that it looks
Yeah.
humanoid. Like if it just talked and did this and looks like, like R2D2, I'd be
Right.
way cooler with that.
I know. I've been saying that for forever. I was like, why not load up AI or open AI, like whatever language model, into a little droid that can follow me around and ride on my shoulder like a little pet, I guess. I don't know. That's what I want. I don't want this. I don't want him to judge my open shirt and then curtsy at me when he says like I think I did a good job today. No, I want like a sassy little robot. That's what I want.
I want it to beep and poop. It's just
Yeah.
freaky. I don't like. I don't know. I don't like it being so close to human side. For some reason, I felt like when I watched it, and I know I joked about it, but I'm like, he could just turn at any moment. Right now, he could malfunction and just snatch that guy up across the table.
Yeah, because the scary thing about like OpenAI and other language models is that a lot of them are like human reinforced learning, which means that they learn from humans. And so I say this about a lot of things. Like if you only have one teacher, then you'll never be better than that teacher. At best, you like get 100% of their knowledge, and then that's it. Like you'll never exceed them. So that's why it's so important to get like information from different sources and make sure that like you're seeing different like perspectives and stuff. And so like humans are I mean, they're okay. They're arguably pretty good. I mean, we experienced that with the eclipse where people were outside and talking to each other and sharing glasses and stuff. But humans also aren't always good. So who knows?
Well, yeah, and them not being good is like when some of these AIs are like being trained. People have to stress test the AI. Like I don't know if you've read about that or like listened to anything about that, but you'll have to like when you talk to Google AI, it doesn't start spitting out a bunch of hate speech. Well, there's a reason. Somebody had to stress test it and try to get it to spit out a bunch of hate speech to get it to where it is. Like,
Yeah.
what if for some reason, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel so weird about it being in this mobile humanoid form. I don't like it. Something
Right.
about it. I'm like, just the wrong person feeding it enough information.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
right there, that guy, he could suck. He could be way less friendly and nice and helpful and doing the
Yeah.
dishes and giving you apples.
Yeah. Like what if he was like, how do you think you did? And then he was like, I think I did pretty good. And then his little caretaker was like, hey, you could have done better. And then he just bam, flipped the switch, threw the dishes at him. Could have been a completely different video. All right, did we miss anything here at the end? I don't think so.
No, he kind of just swags out his little
And the
spinny
tableware
hands
is
and you
right
get a
where it
close up
belongs.
of him.
All right.
Get
You're
one last look
welcome.
at his
If
little
there's anything else you
robo
need help with,
nipples.
just let me know.
Yeah. And then slow zoom into him.
You know,
Mhm.
I guess the most beautiful way to put it is whether you have a bat nose or a frog tail, we're still human. They're more human than that.
Yeah. He has less anomalies than I do. Man, bet all of his toes are separate.
That robot probably got regular toes.
But also I was so I was a strange child. When my favorite show would come on, which was the Teletubbies, I would get very excited and laugh when the baby sun rose, right? You know what happens at the end of the
Okay.
episode, right?
Wait, what? I wasn't a Teletubbies watcher. I didn't really fuck with that.
Okay. At the beginning of every episode, it starts off with the sun rising, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pop
I
culture
remember
thing.
that for sure.
Yeah. The baby like laughing and giggling as it rose into the sky. Again, I could have sworn as a kid that the baby would cry as the sun set, but that is not true. The baby would still be laughing as the sun set, but I would be crying. I would cry when the end of the episode came.
I was the baby.
I was the baby. I think I found out recently that the baby and I were born in the same year. So like it was just like could have been me, man. I was crying in the sky.
I wasn't watching that shit. I was watching Ninja Turtles, bro.
I mean, I
That
was
was
watching that
I
too.
remember Ninja Turtles was like my shit. I didn't really watch a lot of Barney or Teletubbies. I was watching Ninja
Nah.
Turtles and Butt Ugly Martians. Those are two things that I
But
remember
Ugly
like
Martians, nice.
so vividly. And every time I bring up, I think me and you've had this conversation before. Maybe every time I bring up Butt Ugly Martians, no one knows what I'm talking about, and it was like such a like big part of being a kid for me. I remember popping that VHS in, and
Nice. Yeah. No, I
hell
mean,
yeah.
I watched that Ninja Turtles too. And then I think which Scooby Doo was it that I watched? It's like What's New Scooby Doo or something like that. I don't know. There's like eras. And I had VHSs. And I also had the live action Ninja Turtles. So there was the one with April in the yellow jumpsuit, right? That was the animated one. And did you watch like TMNT, like the live action one with the guys in the suits?
That's the one that I primarily watched, just the one with the
Hell
guys
yeah.
in the suits. Yeah, the big heads and stuff.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. That I mean, so you may know this about me already, but in case you don't and you're watching this, I'm terrified of mascots. Like my college mascot, I know who it was on the inside, couldn't even high five them. Like I had to work up until like senior year of college and like I high fived them and it was a big deal. I loved TMNT 1 and 2. And even though they were like the pure definition of exactly what I was terrified of, just people in costumes. But I think it was because we shared a love of pizza. I think that's really how I bonded. They fucking were hype for pizza every time it was on screen, and I was there for it. And they were
And
friends
it
with
always looked
Vanilla
so
Ice.
good.
Oh, it always looks so good with the stretchy cheese and everything.
In the cartoon, it's
Man.
that it had that the
Yep.
fucking Goofy movie effect, bro. You know that one
Yeah.
scene in the Goofy
Yeah.
movie where
The Leaning
ch-
Tower
and,
of
like-
Cheese.
dude, so good. This looks so good. Why
Yeah.
do cartoon food always look so good?
Dude, right? Like Krabby Patties
Something
will
about
never
it.
live up to that.
I would do some crazy shit for a Krabby Patty.
Mhm.
Or a ramen in any anime. I feel like that always looks so delicious.
True, but I feel like ramen is like a good tonkatsu ramen. Like that could live up to the taste, in my opinion. But it's like very few pizzas and very few burgers ever live up to like what they look like on screen.
Bad. Come on, AI. Get us there. Figure something
Right?
out.
Man.
Well, since we're still in dessert, I'm gonna respond to this. Dry, you're a hater, and a Krabby Patty looks bussin'. A pretty
That's
patty,
because he
dude. I don't
spelled it
care
wrong.
what.
He spelled it
what-
wrong in both words.
Yeah, get off of the dessert screen.
Yeah.
Next segment.
The-
This guy
the-
can't spell.
The fuck out of here.
But learn to spell, dude.
Take your wish.com Krabby Patty and get the fuck out of here.
All right. Speaking of uncanny, I feel like if we want to hit one more segment for the episode, I feel like this is a good one that'll leave people thinking. Leave people. This is gonna get some chatter going because I know we're gonna have some stuff to talk about after this. So
All right.
I want, and maybe you can kick this one off.
Okay.
I want to talk about any times you've had what you feel is a paranormal experience. This is something that I feel like every podcast has to talk about their ghost story. I feel like this always happens, but I feel like there's a couple that like really stand out in my life, and I'm sure you had a couple that stand out in yours. And I'm curious to know what happened, what spooky stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have two that I could come out the gates with, and I really haven't decided which one I want to go with, but I think that on the fly, I'm going to go with the one that's more funny than scary because That's how I live my life. So, as you know, I'm a Florida man, and Mia's grandparents were coming down to visit. And a place that grandparents love to visit is called St. Augustine, which is not too far from here. It's it's advertised as the nation's oldest city because it was one of the first places that the Spanish came over and like established a city, and there's still some buildings from that time. So it's really cool, like a fort and everything. There's also a lighthouse. And I love lighthouses. I don't know, they're just like one of those things that they're on the shore. They always look cool. They got a sick ass paint job always, and they serve a good purpose. And so this lighthouse is very tall and it's on the coast, which means that it's very flat. So like you could be in tall things in the mountains and it doesn't look very tall because you got a mountain next to you. But when you're in a tall thing on the coast, like that shit is tall. And now I bet you're thinking, how does this even relate to a ghost story? Well, this is what happened. I had my camera and I was like, I'm going to take some pictures from the top. And Mia was like, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of heights, but like, I'll do it because we're a team and we can do this. And I said, hell yeah. We get into this lighthouse and immediately Mia is like, I don't feel good about this. We go up to these steps and the steps are like grates. Like you could see through these steps all the way up and all the way down, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it meant that you were stepping onto something that you could see the ground like hundreds of feet underneath. Because I think it was like over 100 foot. It doesn't matter. It was a lot of steps. And so we were going up and Mia just kept getting more and more anxious. And that wasn't like Mia. Like Mia doesn't, like she's unsure about things, but then she's like, okay, no, I got this.
Dog.
She
She's
walks
not afraid
barefoot outside. Exactly. And so she was like weirdly uncomfortable during this entire journey up to the top of the lighthouse. I got some good pictures from the top of the lighthouse. I got some better pictures of Mia clutching onto the lighthouse from the top. But we came back down. And so when we came back down, Mia immediately felt better, whether it was from like the height or something else. And this is where things get interesting. So when I was little, and actually, you know what, still to this day, my mom is a chronic viewer of those ghost stories. You know, like History Channel became the Ghost Channel. She watches every single one. She knows every single of their cast members' names. She knows where they've been, and she knows when every new episode's coming out. And so when I was little, this was the case too. And there was a show called Taps, which was the only one that I was into because they would like 90% of the time debunk it and be like, you think there's a ghost, but really it's just a guy with his high beams going down like the interstate behind you. And it's reflecting off of this mirror. And then that's what makes it look like it. And I love that because I was like, man, that's grounded in reality. And then like the 10% of the time that they were like, damn, we don't know, I'd be like, ooh, spooky. My favorite episode of this 10% was of a lighthouse. And in this lighthouse, they had a camera pointed straight up, right? So, you know, traditional spiral staircase all the way to the top of a lighthouse. They had a camera at the bottom pointed all the way up. And so on this video, they caught a guy like leaning over the edge, like peering down. And so you're like, okay, that's just a guy doing it. And then they're just going to post it and be like, ooh, it was a ghost. But then like you see him like fly up 2 flights of steps, like around 2 more, and like look down again. And like a motion sensor goes off like while he's doing it, like inhumanly fast. And we'll have to look up the video. Maybe I'll look it up during your story, so that way we can have some footage. But I was like, man, that shit's real. If I've ever seen a ghost video that's legit, that's it. Well, it comes to find out, I was telling my mom about how Mia was climbing this staircase of a lighthouse in St. Augustine, and she went, oh, that's where the St. Augustine lighthouse is from the Taps show.
Oh, shit.
And I said, no shit. I was like, that's up in New England or something. And she was like, no, it's St. Augustine. So we looked it up, and sure enough, it's the St. Augustine lighthouse. And so Mia got such like a weird vibe in there. She was, you know, touching the ground. She was feeling the world around her. And she must have picked up on something that maybe was out of this world because, she was feeling the vibes. of maybe something paranormal.
So you could have been on the show Taps. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, you could have been tapped out.
Yep, I could have been tapped. Maybe I was.
All right. Whoa. What was your other story, if you don't mind me asking?
Should I just roll into it, or do you want to
interesting?
do kind of a
Yeah, sure.
I'll do one, you do one kind of thing?
Yeah, I ran into this one's like a super short one. I remember when I was younger, I went to a drive-in movie with one of my friends, and I've never been to one before. I feel like this one's relevant because you were talking about seeing one
Mm.
not in your house. And like I don't remember much of this one because I only have two, and this one's less interesting. But I remember I just felt like super weird vibes while I was there, and maybe it was because I've never been to a drive-in movie and I was just like in a new place. But I remember one of my friends talking about like how he also felt super weird about being there, kind of like how
Hmm.
you said Mia
Yeah.
felt weird. And I remember seeing this guy, and he was like a big, large, heavy set dude. And I remember looking at him, and I also can't get over what showed on the stream when I disappeared. But I also, or if I was still here in the camera at least.
You were here in the
Um,
camera the whole time.
okay, cool. But anyway, I remember seeing him, and he was see through. Like I felt like I could see, like he was like
What?
transparent, like this dude just sitting there, and he was just sitting there watching the movie. And I'm like, you mentioned the show wanting to ground everything in science or like
Mm-hmm.
in logic and reasoning, and I was just now I want to go. Maybe it was like a weird reflection of like, uh, you know what I mean? The screen, the projection. I don't know, but he was just sitting at a bench, and he was like just opaque. Like I could see him, like I could see his like form and body, but like I felt like I could see everything through him, but no one else near him looked like that. And I remember turning to tell
Damn.
one of my friends about it. My friend at the time, his name was Howie. Shout out Howie. And I remember turning back, and he's gone. The dude just disappeared, and there's no way a man of that size was like.
Man. Yeah, just hustled out of there.
I'm sure there's a scientific explanation for why it happened, but I like to tell it that it's a ghost story because I turned and turned back. I mean, within like 2 seconds of being like, "Yo, dude, are you seeing this?" And then he was just
Man.
gone. And he still hunts and eats food at a bench and watches drive-in movies to this day. I never went back to another drive-in movie. It was so weird, and I just felt like the vibes were off.
Yeah, like what? I mean, you gotta like try to reason through it. Like, were you seeing something, or was that guy actually just hauling ass? Like,
Yeah, I don't. It was like, but why did I feel like I could see through him? I don't know. That one was like less scary, but I have only encountered what feels like two super weird experiences, and that was one
mm,
of them. That was like the earliest one when I was young that I feel like I remember. Um, yeah, not as crazy as Lighthouse Ghost from the Taps show, but it was pretty weird though.
yeah. Well, I mean, I have a little light one that I'm only a side character in. We could kind of bring it back towards comedy here for a second. So, when I was little, my parents were staying at my dad's grandparents' house that was allegedly haunted. They had since torn that house down and built a new one where it is, and I'm sure that one's even more haunted because ghosts hate that shit. But anyways, my parents were sleeping in the living room of this house on the couch because like that's how it is, and I was like some month old baby, like baby, and up in a baby room. And so in the middle of the night,
God, I hate this already.
my mom and dad both hear a terrible crash sound and what sounds like footsteps. And I, as a baby, start wailing, crying, right? And so my mom does the thing that all mothers do, I presume. I don't know. And she says, "You have to go check on Dylan." And my dad goes, "Ghosts don't hurt babies," and stayed in his bed.
What the fuck? What?
As everybody knows the rules, ghosts don't hurt
Dude.
babies.
What the hell?
I was totally fine up
low
there.
key, it feels like they don't though. Every story, every movie, they just befriend the kid.
Exactly, yeah.
But
my-
also, maybe your dad just was like, I don't give a fuck about him. Like, he just let you like just get absolutely wrecked.
Yeah. Maybe that's how I got the fucking tail.
The ghost is like, this will show him.
Bink.
Dude, my cousin. All right, this isn't my second story, but this reminded me of a little kid story.
Uh-huh.
There's this really creepy house, and I wish I could show you this house without doxing myself, but I feel like it's too close to doxing myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's in the neighborhood that I grew up in, but it's a super creepy house, and there's been like multiple tenants. Like people do not stay there long, and people always say weird shit happens there. I remember my cousin lived there, and she has twins, which like
Mm.
twins are already
Mhm.
everyone knows how I
Already
feel about
creepy.
twins. If you watch my channel, I don't fuck with twins, adult twins specifically. It feels wrong, and I don't like it. I just don't
Wait,
like
so
it. You
they're
shouldn't
well, like
dress the
what
same, look this is too much. I don't
why
have the time to
adult
unpack
twins?
that.
How can all
It's
right, yeah. Yeah, we'll just blow through that. All right. Keep going.
adult twins are just like I don't when two adults dress the same and talk the same and want to be similar, like when you go like the Twinsburg, Ohio twin
Mm.
gathering of all of the twins, it's just too much. Okay, you're two separate adults. Get over it. You
Yeah,
look the same.
right.
It's just like I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. But um, anyways, they're twins. Twins are just like creepy enough to me, but the they would talk about this person that was in their closet, and maybe they had an imaginary friend, but this was a house that like people have talked about plenty of times, and like they would, and
Mm-mm.
my cousin's names are Evan and Isabel, and I remember they would say like the mom would talk about like hearing them talking in the middle of the night and go upstairs, and they would just be talking into the closet like together, like they were seeing. My
Mm-mm.
eyes water talking about this because it makes me so uncomfortable,
Mm-mm.
and they would talk together. So like, were they seeing the same imaginary friend? And like, I would ask them about it. And I remember one day I was in the house that we're in, and I'm in the living room, and I'm asking them about it. And when I tell you that, like the feeling that I felt like getting answers from them, like I just after that day, I never pushed the topic again. I just like if they
Mhm.
get fucked up by ghosts, they get fucked up by ghosts. It's on their parents. Ghosts don't hurt babies.
Ghost daughter babies.
It was just like it was so weird, but yeah, they would say like it was their friend. They would always talk about how it was their
Man.
friend, and like and their room was upstairs and their parents' room is downstairs. It was just hella weird. But my story has to do with my room used to be in the basement
Okay.
of the house that I grew up in. And then I always felt so weird about my room down there, and like just always felt like when I was going to bed, like we were watching scary movies on my stream the other day, scary movies, scary shorts. And you see
Yeah.
like where people are peeking out under the covers, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
dude, I would just accept my fate. I wouldn't peek out of the cover. I would go. I want it to just get me without me knowing. I always felt like something was watching me. And I remember
Damn.
one day the door handle kept rattling on my door,
No.
and everyone else's room is upstairs and I'm downstairs, and my sister was like deathly afraid of my like room downstairs and stuff. Like no one else came downstairs, it was just me. I wanted to be in the basement because I wanted to do shit I wasn't supposed to.
Fair.
Like sneak, like be able to sneak outside without anyone knowing, and
Yeah.
do shit that you would do when you're a teenager. And I remember the door handle doing that, and eventually I was like, okay, I have to muster up the courage to get out of this room because something weird is going on. And I
Mhm.
get up, and my parents did not have a lock on my bedroom door. And I get up and I go to open that door, and my door is fucking locked, dude. There's no lock on the door. It's just a standard door handle, but my door is locked. I can't get out.
No.
I'm pulling on the door. I start freaking the fuck out, dude. I have turned the lights on. I'm yanking on the door, and then I literally yell like, "Mom!" And as I yell, "Mom," the door gives and lets me out. And it was like the creepiest, weirdest shit ever. And
Yeah, I
then
hate that.
in that like same weekend, and this is probably because I was already nervous, and I'm sure this is like a placebo thing, but I swear the water heater that was downstairs said Trey Walter. Like I swear I heard it say my name one time. Like I was downstairs and I
Damn.
was feeling like super weird about being down there. And it was like I felt
Man.
like I heard it say my name. Now that could have just been water gurgling around or doing something.
Yeah.
Um, but coming off the tail end of whatever it felt like was locking me in the door, and maybe that was like I'm in the basement, the pressure from the door outside or something was holding my door closed. I don't know, man, but it was
Yeah.
weird, and that's what I always tell as my ghost story because it felt like super fucked up and like not cool, like
Yeah.
not friendly.
Yeah. That's a good one. I have one that was my second one that's more just scary than anything. But it's more atmospherically scary. There's not like your door was locked. Like that shit's crazy. Because I was too much of a weenie in my story. So I was on a ship, and this ship was being worked on. is on the water, but it had all these wires and stuff wrapped around it and stuff because it didn't have its own ship's power. So there was like wires from shore that went in, which meant that it didn't have its own lighting. So I was walking around the ship in the middle of the night, as you do. And these lights were string lights that they would have on the ceiling, more or less. And they always said that the medical part of the ship was haunted. There was 2 ghosts. There was one in the medical part, and then there was one up by where they kept the chains for the anchor. Sad story about that one that we won't go into. So instead, we'll stick with the scary medical ghost. So I was walking, and I usually avoided that area, not because it was haunted, but because it was like kind of a pain in the ass to walk like down the stairs and stuff around there. But I did today. So I walked in, and immediately like chills and hair standing up on end because I heard like the echoes in my head of like, don't go into the medical wing after dark. It's haunted. Ooh. And so I'm walking and I'm trying to like shake it off. I'm like, I know it's just because I'm here and it's dark and it's so quiet that you can hear like everything. Any sound just echoes down the entire hallway. And as I'm walking, the string lights above me start swinging.
I hate
Like
that.
somebody is like grabbing it from farther down and inside of a room that I can't see and pulling it. And so they're all swinging like this, right? The ship is in a river, so there's no waves. So it's not that. And I didn't touch it because it's on the ceiling and I'm pretty short. But this motherfucker is swinging. And I swear that I felt like a growing sense of dread as I went further down. And the lights that were being pulled were in the medical part where they had like the table and everything that was on my left. And I swear I walked by it and I didn't even peek inside of that doorway. I was like, there's no way that I'm even looking. But as soon as
If I
I
don't see
crossed
it, it doesn't see me.
Exactly. As soon as I crossed it, I felt just like the worst paranoia ever. And so I straight up ran until I got out of the door back into like the fresh air. And yeah, that was,
Dude.
that was like the most intense feeling that I ever had, but I didn't look, and I'm still glad that I didn't. Because
I thought you were gonna say the lights like started flickering and shit too. I was like, no, bro, you had a real experience. That was some weird shit. That's
Yeah.
an EMF 5.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that was
Dude,
definitely the
holy
ghost room.
shit. And it being on a ship, but you said you were docked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine if you're on the open water, dude.
Yeah, no.
That'd
There's
have been
no
really
escaping it
freaky.
then.
I was trying to. There's this girl that I liked when I was in high school. Well, high school, yeah, maybe like freshman year. And I remember she hung out with a friend of mine, and they wanted to go to a haunted house, like not
Mhm.
like a haunted house like where you pay money to go, like a place that they were like, oh, this place is haunted, and it was this like farmhouse in the middle of this field, and
Mhm.
it was on the side of a railroad track. So I was like, oh, like that was totally not my vibe. I was not gonna do that. But then I remember this girl at the time was gonna go, and I was like, that's it. This is my only chance. I have to go risk getting ghost attacked. And I walked along this railroad track until we got like close to this abandoned like farmhouse, but right in front
Mhm.
of the farmhouse, which like there's definitely an explanation for this. This isn't like even ghost; it's more creepy.
Yeah.
There is a hole next to the railroad track, and maybe that's just something that happens next to railroad track. I don't know, but
Mm.
the weird part about the hole is next to the hole is a pair of pants with a belt in it, a wallet, and the wallet still had stuff in it. Like I remember leaning down, flipping the wallet open, seeing all their shit in it. And I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
We have to
no.
get the fuck out of here because I was worried that like my fingerprints were on some like crime scene or something. And yeah, it was just pants in the wallet, and like it
Oh,
was
man.
right next to this house, and it was like a long walk away from all the other houses near a railroad
Man.
track. Super scary. Yeah, that was like a creepy haunted house, like weird ordeal. And I have used a Ouija board once, but I think it was I think my friends were influencing it heavily. They all claim that they weren't, but I had one friend who was like super into that shit, and he was like the one doing most of the talking, and the answers were always just like too good. And I
Yeah.
remember a lot of my other friends in the room was like, "Don't do that. You're letting the spirits in." But I don't know,
There's
man. I
that
tried to
country
chop it
accent
up with a
again.
couple spirits. The ghosts are just hillbillies. Like, how old are you? How old do you think I am, boy? Shit.
Man.
But yeah, I only did it like once,
Yeah.
but once or twice maybe. But it was I think Katrina has always been afraid of Ouija boards. I think I brought that up to her once, and she was like, "I'm not fucking with it. I'm not letting the
Yeah.
demons in."
Yeah. I mean, why bother, you know? Like what's the best case scenario?
Make a cool little ghost friend.
I mean, okay, yeah. Like Casper.
Yeah, like a Casper scenario.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, new plan. Instead of going down the AI route, let's just get a ghost to inhabit a robot.
No, wait, that's more dangerous. I feel we befriend him. We
sounds like
think
the
he's
perfect plan.
cool.
Yeah.
Casper's like, actually, get fucked.
Actually, I won't hand you this apple.
He just rips your heart out. We should Ouija and Michael Jackson's mansion. No, I don't wanna. You're instead of
man.
like ooh or ooh,
I
you
knew
just
this
hear
was coming. Just was it the door creaking or was it the Michael Jackson? Ooh,
Oh god, dude.
man.
Scotty slowly turning into Dr. Frankenstein. Wait, why?
I don't know why.
Oh, because because you're putting a go. I think
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving
creating-
life to inanimate things. It's all right. You
Well,
watched the
goddamn.
original. That ghost is gonna yeet some little girl into a lake. You've seen that, right? You seen that scene?
The original what?
Frankenstein. All right, come on. If you haven't seen this, we're all right. Hold on. Frankenstein yeets girl into lake. That's gotta come up immediately. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, look, there's the girl. They go to the lake. He gives her a flower. He likes the flower. But something happens. The body takes over. He thinks he understands. But he does not.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Also, that kills the girl. Just so you know.
Wait, are you being serious?
I'm so serious. Yeah.
That's enough to.
Yep.
She just drowns.
Yeah, she drowns. She doesn't know how to swim. It doesn't matter the fact
Damn.
that she's like in 2 inches of water.
Yeah, that she's
Yeah.
literally right
Hey,
next to the shore.
A 1/4 inch of water will kill you.
They do say that.
Yep.
By they, I mean I don't know who.
The man. Trying to keep
The
you
people.
scared of water. Not looking at eclipses and getting genetic powers.
Kind of been on a roller coaster today. Eclipses, powers, ghosts, AI. Today is a spiritual, spooky episode.
Really was. I feel like
I liked
We
it.
had-
It was a good one. I like the segments are fun, but just getting to chop it up for a minute, especially since we haven't talked since the last episode. I had a great time.
Yeah, this was great. I had a really good time. And also I'm glad that we got to catch up again through the
Literally.
lens of this podcast.
And there you have it, folks. We just had the longest lunch ever. I think lunch break is over. Get back to your spooky business for the day or the night or whenever you're watching this. And don't let the door hit you. Isn't that what they say?
Sounds
Isn't
like
that
it.
what they say?
That-
Why are we talking about they again? No bugs.
No bugs.
Don't act like you know things, bro. It's the bugs. Hee hee.